The Lord has been speaking to me about qualifications. And I spent 20 years in the U.S. Army. I was former enlisted Green Beret. Then I transitioned to be a commissioned officer. And I understand military life. I understand how to do military. I understand I understand leadership. I understand how to lead others. I also understand how to submit and be led by other leaders. And the military is a leadership organization. From day one, you step into the military on this trajectory that one day you are going to move up. Like, nobody stays a private, nobody stays a second lieutenant. You are destined for leadership, regardless whether you want it or not. So if you're not a good leader, it comes out quickly, and everybody will see it, everybody will know it. But they actually have developmental courses, and they help you because they know that everybody comes from all walks of life. Well, I stepped into the ministry, and it was a different experience for me. I've chose to set aside my military experience and step into ministry, and to submit to pastors, submit to leadership, to submit to generals. And that is a very good thing. But the Lord has used my experience from the military. He's used it a lot, actually. God doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste a thing. He uses your experiences from your past, good and bad, for whatever he has you doing for him. So I'm at Open Door Church in Burleson, Texas, and I mean, it is a phenomenal church. There's so much happening there at Open Door Church. There's so many things happening around the world because of Open Door Church and because of Pastor Troy and Pastor Leanna. Now, I've been given through Pastor Troy and Pastor Leanna, sorry, I had the seat heater on, and after a while I started getting a little warm. I'm like, whoa, it's getting a little warm in here. But through the leadership of Pastor Troy and Pastor Leanna, they've allowed me to get in the pulpit and speak. And man, just recently, I think I did something that wasn't pleasing to the Lord. I began to measure myself and compare myself to some of the other speakers that come in there. Well, not even come in there, but just our pastor and our associate pastor. And man, because these guys are phenomenal. Even our female pastor, Pastor Leanna, she is a phenomenal speaker. And I just started like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to be as good as them. Like, they've been doing this for 30 plus years, and I'm never going to be one of them. I could never measure up. And so recently the Lord dealt with me, and he said, John, I didn't ask you to measure up to them, because I'm not asking you to be them. I'm asking you to be you. I need you to know who you are. So probably about 2 or 3 days ago, while in prayer, the Lord spoke, kind of like was dealing with me in my heart. And he said, I can't fully express everything I want to do through you until you see yourself the way I do. And I said, okay, Lord, how do I see myself? And he took me back to a dream. I don't have enough time to share all that with you. He took me back to a dream that he had given me. And in this dream, I was wearing like pajamas, house clothes, but I was at church, and it had to do with how I saw myself. And the long and the short of it is I saw myself as unqualified. And so the Lord was saying to me, Johnny, you don't see yourself as qualified for the assignment that I've given you. And I was like, okay. And so then I asked him, well, Lord, how do you see me? And he said, I see you as qualified. You are qualified, but I need you to see that. And I was like, okay. So he reminded me of a book by Stephen Furtick called Unqualified. And in this book, Stephen Furtick is talking about, one day he's in his house and he's getting ready for church, and he's listening to YouTube, and there's a theologian getting interviewed, and the theologian is asked, they're asking this theologian this question: when you hear the name Stephen Furtick, what comes to your mind? Stephen Furtick's like, oh my goodness, like, dude, they know me? And this is years ago. This is years ago. And he's like, wow, like, they know who I am. Like, so he runs over and he's listening, and he's waiting for the theologian to respond. And the theologian drops his head and says, unqualified. And that was like, what? Like, Stephen Furtick ended up writing this book called Unqualified, and he talks about how God never chose anyone qualified. God never chose anyone qualified. So God reminded me of this book. I started reading the book, and I had read it. I think I've even read it before, but I feel like I'm reading it for the first time again. So unqualified. So I'm reading this book, and I get to a part where Stephen Furtick is talking, and he says, God called me. God chose me. God empowered me. God equipped me. God opened doors for me. So really, my qualifications are relatively irrelevant. And that just hit me right between the eyeballs, right in the heart. God called me. God chose me. God equipped me. God put favor in my life. God opened the doors for me. And so he's who qualifies me. He is who qualifies you for the assignment that is way bigger than you, that is way bigger than us. And actually, if you're in an assignment that's way bigger than you, then it's a God thing. And the thing is, he needs you to depend on him. He needs you to get in the secret place. So friends, I sat down and I just had a change of heart. I'm still going to read through the book. I'm still seeking the Lord because I need to get that head knowledge into my heart. I need that information to become revelation, because that's when you get transformation. When information becomes revelation, then you receive transformation, and you have to renew your mind. And I think a lot of it is, here I am in this mega church with this outstanding preacher, all of them. And I was just measuring myself, and the Lord is like, dude, I don't need you to be them. I've qualified you. I've called you. I've set you apart. I put you on that stage. You didn't have the ability to do that. And so do you think I'm going to put you up there and let you look like a fool? No, if you seek me, if you study, if you work hard, same thing with, like, almost the same thing in the military. Like, if you work hard, if you do all the right things, if you seek me, if you study your messages, if you read the Bible, if you get in my presence, like, I'm going to take care of you. I got you. What did he tell Joshua in Joshua 1:8? He said, keep this word in your mouth day and night and observe to do all that is written in it. So he tells Joshua, keep my word, and then make sure that it's displayed in your life. And then you will have good success, and then you will prosper. Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to be prideful, but that's what I try to do in my life. I try to keep God's word in my mouth, in my ears. I try to wash my mind with God's word, and I try to live out God's word out of my life. And I have actually seen prosperity in my life, and it's because what he told Joshua is for all of us. So I don't know if maybe this is something that will encourage you, but I just want to say, friends, if God chose you, if God called you, if God equipped you, if God opened doors for you, then your qualifications are relatively irrelevant, because it's him that is sustaining you. It's him that's equipping you. But what he needs you to know, just like me, and friends, this is just a few days ago, what he needs you to know is that you are qualified. And so, friends, if you need to hear that today, because I needed to hear my Father say, John, you are qualified, and I need you to know it, because I already know it. And I can't fully demonstrate everything I want to do in your life until you see yourself the way I do, because one of the things that happens is fear quenches the spirit. So measuring yourself among others quenches the spirit. You need to know who God is in you and who you are in God. And you need to know, friends, that God has qualified you. God has called you. God has equipped you. God has opened doors for you. And so he is with you, and he's going to give you everything you need, and you are fully qualified. He gives us all sufficiency for all things, every bit of grace for the thing that we're called to do. We just have to know it. We need that information to become revelation so that we can have transformation. So friends, today I hope this will start the information process, become revelation, and then conclude with transformation, because it has for me. And I just want to say I love you. You have a blessed day, and I love you so much. I'm going to talk to you soon. All right. Hey, don't forget, go to Open Door Church, odx.tv, find out what we're doing. We're rescuing and raising kids all over the world. We're digging water wells all over the world. Also check out alifetransformed.com and see what we got going on, because we have a clothing line and it's absolutely amazing. We have some cool merch. Talk to you soon. I love you so much. Bye-bye.